Miami Dolphins today is presented by Magic Spoon for the best tasting cereal on the market for an affordable price and really just all the benefits as well. Go to magicspoon.com/dolphins to get the best tasting cereal and save $5 off your first order of Magic Spoon. We'll talk about them in a little bit later on in the show today. But hey, it's Monday, and that can only mean one thing for the Miami Dolphins. It is overreaction time. And before I give you my overreactions, what are your biggest overreactions to the Dolphins' loss in Week 5 to the Super Bowl champs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Wasn't pretty, 45-17. A lot of season remaining, but let's be honest, you're going to want to wait till the end on this video right here because I have a scorching hot overreaction as my fourth and final one for Week 5, and there's been a couple of comments that I've seen that might agree with me, but let's just put it all out there today, Dolphins fans. You're 1-4, not much is going right. Let's just have a sympathy party, I guess, on today's show. The first overreaction I have is the Dolphins secondary just isn't very good. I mean, you have two of the highest paid corners in the NFL, and Xavier Howard as well as Byron Jones, and if yesterday was any indication of what this secondary is going to look like moving forward, it's not going to be a good one, as they allowed 437 passing yards to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday. Just a really abysmal showing all the way around. Really, the run defense was okay at times for the Dolphins, but really the secondary, the point of the defense that was supposed to be the strong point, right, really suffered yesterday, albeit against Tom Brady and his multitude of weapons, but you have to be better if that is the strong point of your defense. And Joe Leayard, who covers the Buccaneers, had this to say per PFF. The Dolphins opted for mostly Byron Jones on Mike Evans and Xavier Howard on AB, with Nick Needham helping in the middle of the field and guarding Chris Godwin. Evans caught 4 of his 5 targets for 86 yards and a TD on Jones, and AB went for 4 of 5 as well for 88 yards and 2 TDs on Howard. Again, we're talking about two of the highest paid corners in the NFL, and I get it, Tampa has one of the best offenses, but this secondary had to play better yesterday to even give the Dolphins a chance, right? And they did not make the trip to northwest into the part of the middle of the state down there in Florida. But what's going on here? Like, this isn't the first time that Byron Jones has looked bad this season. This isn't the first time that Xavier Howard has looked bad this season. What's going on? If you are concerned about the Dolphins secondary like I am, type CB down in the comments, because you have two of the highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL in your secondary. Something's got to change. A little more on Xavier Howard here. Again, 19 tackles, 5 pass breakups, an interception, and a fumble recovery, which really led to the only win of the season for the Miami Dolphins up in New England in Week 1, now on a 4-game losing streak, and he's been getting beat quite a bit, right? This secondary just doesn't look the same, and I'm starting to get worried about it because, as I mentioned, this was supposed to be the best part of this defense. This secondary was supposed to be great, right? This is why you re-signed Xavier Howard to an extension. This is why you went out and got Byron Jones, right? To be up opposite against guys like Mike Evans, right? And they get absolutely torched. I get it. The GOAT is at the quarterback position. This is one of the best offenses in the NFL. But you have to have a better showing if you are the Miami Dolphins in their secondary against that offense. Just even have a chance. And if the score was any indication, you obviously didn't. Magic Spoon is today's sponsor of the video. Real quick, I have to get my breakfast in. It's a little late here, but Magic Spoon's really the only way to go right here. I'm telling you right now. I love cereal, and Magic Spoon, it's the best cereal on the market, right? You know, you have those childlike cereals out there that have abnormal amounts of sugar, right? Magic Spoon doesn't do that. 0 grams of sugar, and you get the protein you need to make it through your day, 13 to 14 grams of protein. My favorite flavor, it's the Frosted right here. I love the Frosted. The cocoa's pretty good. You could even say maybe I'm in love with the cocoa if you get the rap reference right there. Head on over to MagicSpoon/Dolphins to save $5 off your first order of Magic Spoon. Again, for the best tasting cereal that's healthy for you, Magic Spoon is the only option. Head over to MagicSpoon.com/Dolphins to save $5. Back into the overreactions right here, and I know a lot of people in the Dolphins fan base, and I'm right there with them, are very skeptical of Tua Tagovailoa. And rightfully so, right? but his return will fix this offense. That's my overreaction to this because Jacoby Brissett, I didn't think he looked bad in the first half yesterday. Second half, different story. I get it. But these are the numbers that they put up against the Buck defense that is pretty solid, especially against the run. And 301 total yards. I know that doesn't look like a lot, but after week 2 against the Bills and really week 4 against the Colts, the offense looked like it changed a little bit. And we all know by this point, Jacoby Brissett just ain't it. Right? We know Jacoby Brissett is not the any kind of answer you want at the quarterback position, especially with the talent that was presumably on this roster, right? Now Tua comes back from those fractured ribs against the Jags. I mean, with the offense and what it showed against the Bucks, maybe there's some life there. I don't know. I think you need to put Tua on the field and get the ball in the playmaker's hands more often, right? Specifically Jalen Waddle. There's no reason Jalen Waddle shouldn't be targeted at least 8 to 12 times a game. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. But let me know down in the comments, do you think Tua is the answer at QB? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. You're going to get hit with an ad break here. I will give you my answer to this question after the ad break, but let me know down in the comments what you're thinking. Be sure to hit that big red button and subscribe to Miami Dolphins today if you haven't already. But the answer to the Tua question that I've got, I think it's a yes, right? Like, I think he might be the answer for the sheer fact that he can't do any worse than Jacoby Brissett, right? Like, I think when you look at the tools in his presence right now, you don't have Will Fuller, who is going to take the top off the defense. We don't know when Devontae Parker's coming back. Thank goodness Preston Williams was available for week 5, right? But I think overall, getting the ball in Jalen Waddle and Myles Gaskin's hand is going to be the most important part of this offense moving forward. And Tua loves to dink and dunk. Those guys are dink and dunk guys as of right now in this offense. So I think he could be the answer, at least to make the offense show a little bit more hope moving forward. Speaking of hope on the offense, Liam Eichenberg is the fix at left tackle. I'm just going to say this. Thank goodness. And I mean, thank goodness Austin Jackson is no longer at left tackle. This was the depth chart going in to week number 5 for the Dolphins, right? Some changes have been made. We don't know if they're going to be permanent because this is what they were looking like going into the game, right? But right before kickoff, they moved Eichenberg to left tackle and Jackson inward. There was talk that this was going to happen, but we didn't know for sure until about really 30 minutes before kickoff. I don't know if they go back to this, but this is not the answer that we've talked about trying to find on the offensive line, right? Looking at PFF and their run blocking leaders throughout the season so far, you have guys like Trent Williams, who is arguably the best left tackle, maybe offensive lineman in the NFL to begin with. Tyron Smith is second. Then you got Jack Conklin, and then Terrence Steele, the surprising one at number 5, specifically for the Cowboys. He gets crapped on quite a bit. But if you put Liam Eichenberg's performance just in week 5 on this list, he would be number 3 on there. He had a 91.4 run blocking grade from PFF. And I get it. It's just 1 week. But that's pretty damn elite company right there. We're talking about 2 of the best, if not the best 2 left tackles in the game of football when they're healthy. And then you have a guy in Jack Conklin on the right side that's really just changed the whole complexity of the Browns offensive line with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and their success. I mean, if Liam Eichenberg is going to do this week in and week out, which is probably a stretch, but if he can even get like a 75 grade run blocking, he's the answer at left tackle because Austin Jackson, stop me if you've heard this before, he's continuing to lead the NFL in QB pressures allowed. So let me know, how confident are you in Eichenberg at left tackle? Scale it. I'm not going to give you the 1 to 10 on this option. I am tired of the negativity. This is a positive for Liam Eichenberg on this. From 3 to 10. Scale it for me down in the comments below and let me know what you're thinking in terms of the confidence for the rookie left tackle out of Notre Dame. I told you should wait for the last overreaction for week 5. Here it is. Brian Flores, he's got to go. And I know that a lot of people down in the comments have said this already, but for me, I'm just kind of tired of the lack of changes, right? Whether that's on offense and defense. Your defense was supposed to be what really held this team together while Tua and the guys tried to figure something out offensively. And there's been no changes. And that comes back to the head man himself and Brian Flores. Here's a stat from Joe Shad, on really how bad the Dolphins defense was yesterday. The Dolphins defense gave up more yards than any game since the first game of the Brian Flores era against Tom Brady and the Patriots. How was there no adjustments there, right? You're supposed to be a defensive-minded head coach. How do you not at least have your defense that has plenty of talent on it? We've talked about the corners already. Jalen Phillips there as well, Emmanuel Ogbah. You got Baker at the linebacker position. How is it not better, right? How are you not making changes, Brian Flores? And then there's this tweet as well. Brian Flores' record with Tua at quarterback, he's 7-4. Without Tua, he's 8-6. Okay, I get that you don't have your starting quarterback. Usually you're not going to be very good at this. But something has to change here, right? Something has to change now if you're the Miami Dolphins. There's too much talent, specifically on defense, for this team to at least not compete week in and week out. And yesterday and the previous week against the Colts, you didn't compete. You competed against the Raiders, but it took you about 3.5 quarters to wake up and realize, oh, we're playing football in Vegas. It's almost like they went out gambling the night before and forgot they had a game. Something has to change, and it's Brian Flores. If he has to take it in terms of losing his job, maybe that's what it is at this point, because the Dolphins just have too much talent to be 1-4 at this point. I've got to know, though, should Brian Flores be fired? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm right on the fence. I think you could convince me either way, but I'm interested to hear what y'all think on this in terms of should the head man get canned by the Miami Dolphins.